If you are someone who procrastinates, who lets life pass you by, who never speaks up in social settings, this video is for you, because this would have been for me just a few years ago. Oh man, dude. I used to play video games like all day long, every day, as soon as I got out of school. And like, yeah, it was fun at the time, but also I was just there kind of like, for most of it, mouth breathing, not actually having a fun time. Like, it was just baseline at this point. I was like, how do I explain this? Like, I was doing something that I thought was going to be fun, but actually was just kind of like me passing time because I didn't want to be in the real world, because the real world was too hard for me. And that's what it felt like. It felt like the real world sucked and I wanted an escape. And if this is something that you have been struggling with, I want to talk to you about the cost of inaction. Because I spent 5, 8 years playing video games. Yeah, I had some fun times with friends, sure. I was able to hang out with some pretty cool people, honestly. And I made some of the best friends of my life doing that too, honestly. Like, some of my friends from high school were people I bonded over games with, and I still love those guys. They're my brothers today. But by not taking action on things that I thought were important in my life, by not deciding on what was important in my life, I wasted years, because I could be so much further ahead now if I had just taken action back then. And I don't hold it against my past self anymore. I'm not upset at myself because I've accepted it. But I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have. So a basic economic principle is that of opportunity cost, meaning by making one business decision, you forego another one. So by doing one thing, you're not doing another thing. By selling crackers, you cannot spend your time and resources selling fidget spinners. So if fidget spinners ended up being a way better thing than crackers, you just lost out a whole lot. So this applies the exact same in your personal life of if you spend your time playing video games rather than doing something productive like working on your mental health with practices like journaling, meditation, or going to the gym, because that gets all your feel-good chemicals going. It also helps you build an amazing fucking body. If you're spending your time doing something else, the cost is you not making progress in those areas of your life. Putting off action is making your future self resent you, because you're always going to become your future self. That's how it happens. Time passes anyway. So make the most of your time. Show your future self that you care about him, and he will have so much love for you. Because I look back at myself a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in the gym, and I was scared to even walk in there. During COVID, whenever I couldn't even go to the gym, and I still was doing home workouts. I am so fucking proud of myself. I am so proud of myself because he helped me make the progress that I have today. I want you to feel the same amount of pride for yourself, for the things that you do now. I want you in a year to look back at you now and just be so fucking happy. Another thought, write a letter to yourself in 1 year. I can make a whole different video on this, dude, but look up writing a letter to yourself in a year. Just look it up online. The last thing I want to talk about is how to beat inaction. So I've got a few tips. 1, speak up in every class. So if you're going to classes, or if you have meetings in this job that you have, speak up every single time, every class, every meeting, because this starts to build self-confidence in yourself. And it can be scary because you're like, are these people really going to like what I say? What if I say something completely stupid? The chances are you're probably not going to. If you have a thought in your head, most other people have probably also had this thought. They're just too scared to say something. And when you become the person who says something, people respect that. You get a lot of respect, and people start to like you more automatically because they're like, wow, we're on the same page. I thought this dude was kind of weird, but now we're on the same thought pattern. Never mind. Maybe we got something in common. And even if people don't agree with you, for every person that disagrees with you, there's going to be another person who does agree with you in most situations. So don't be afraid to speak up, because even if you speak up and say something a little bit off, you learn something, right? And that's huge, is learning something and becoming better and building the confidence in yourself to speak up. Because this applies to other situations too. Like next time you're in line at Starbucks, you're going to say something to the person behind you, you're going to compliment them just because you're used to speaking up and saying something. You say what's on your mind now. That becomes part of your identity. Next, do the thing you fear most, because the thing you fear most is what is going to give you the most progress. So if you are really afraid of public speaking, go to a speakeasy, go to a Toastmasters, go to make a speech to your parents. Just do something to make progress in the thing that you are most afraid of, because this is what's going to give you the most progress. You're afraid of it for a reason. Not a good reason, it's probably some bullshit reason, but you are afraid of it for a reason, and I want you to overcome that, because the only cure to fear is action. And I want you to overcome as much fear by taking as much action as you can. This is going to make you the best version of yourself that you could be. Next, introduce yourself at every opportunity. So like I was saying in the line of Starbucks, if you're next to someone you don't know, just say, hey, I don't think I've met you yet. I'm Luke. I am Steven. I am Stevanderson. Just introduce yourself to every person, because you never know who you're going to meet. For one, you could meet someone really cool. You could meet someone who's your new best friend. You can meet someone who is a great business contact. You can meet someone who's going to be in your new band. Who fucking knows who you're going to meet? But also, this gives you a chance to practice your social skills, number 2. And this it helps you become more of a person who, again, speaks up and takes action. Lastly, I talked about this in my last previous video, but ask for forgiveness rather than permission. You want to be the person who takes action without asking, rather than asking anytime you have to. You don't want to be the person who's always asking the teacher to go to the bathroom, right? Like, ask for forgiveness, not permission, because people don't like change. They are emotionally reactive to change for things that they can rationally accept later. So rather than asking for permission, getting an emotional response, and getting dissuaded, do the things you're passionate about. Do the things you want to do, and ask for forgiveness whenever you really fuck up, because this gets you more in the habit of taking action and not letting life slip by just because of what other people think of you. Time spent in someone else's head is time wasted. So don't spend any time there. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. Act now. Become unstoppable.